Now in our final and the last section of genital tract injuries, we will talk about the instrumental injuries. In this, we will talk about the dangers of the instrumental injuries versus the management of the instrumental injuries, and also some non-infective and non-malignant types of genital tract injuries. Instrumental injuries. In cervical dilation and curettage, usually injuries can occur when DNC is performed, which is dilation and curettage operation. For different DNCs can be performed if there is endometrial hyperplasia, if there is dysfunctional uterine bleeding, or if there is some abnormality and biopsy can be performed. Usually DNC is a very, very common procedure performed in the gynecology. So this is, it can lead to instrumental injury to the uterus or to other genital tract areas. Then late sequel of the instrumental injury or dilation and curettage is cervical incompetency. Susceptibility, if there is who are the patients that are more susceptible or more prone to instrumental injuries, we have patients with small and soft uterus, especially when they are lactating, postmenopausal uterus, infected uterus, pyometra, and if there is malignancy present. So all these are the conditions in which the genital injuries are common and in which the patient is more susceptible to genital injuries. This is the diagram showing the forceps delivery. When the forceps are used for assisted delivery, usually this can lead to genital tract injuries also. Next, the dangers of the instrumental injuries. We have sometimes may not be any alteration of the general condition and it may get unnoticed. But sometimes patient might present with hemorrhage. Hemorrhage is the blood loss that can be revealed, visible, or it can be intraperitoneal or hidden. Then there might be spreading infection that leads to peritonitis, which is inflammation of the peritoneum. And peritoneum is the lining or covering that covers the abdominal structure or the organs. Or there might be injury to the gut. Next, the management is once the diagnosis is made, the operative procedure is to be stopped. Further management depends on type of instrument causing injury and pathology in the uterus. So if it is noticed that there is instrumental injury, then usually the further management depends on what the type of instrument that cause injury, what is the pathology present in the uterus. Effect on the patient of the injury. Non-infective, non-malignant causes of the genital tract injury. First, we have observation. Observation is pulse and blood pressure are to be observed periodically and to administer antibiotics. Interference is deteriorating general condition, suspected gut injury, features of developing peritonitis. Infective or malignant peritonitis in malignancy or pyometra, laparotomy and definitive surgery have to be seriously considered. So if it's infective like peritonitis, if peritonitis is present, usually treatment by antibiotics is given to treat the peritonitis. But in case if there is malignancy or if there are swellings or masses like like pyometra. Usually opening of the abdomen is performed and then it should be definitive surgery have to be performed or considered. So all these are patient should be observed carefully, and then the interference, what are the conditions that causes it. It depends on interference depend on the general condition of the patient, if there is any suspected gut injury or if there is any peritonitis. So that was all about the topic genital tract injuries, in which we covered all the conditions that can lead genital tract injuries and how they can be managed and treated, what are the signs and symptoms and how what are the complications and how they can be managed. Thank you for watching sqadia.com.